Hello, everybody. This is Arthur from Weed, California. The best place to be on a summer hot day is the mountain right behind me. Right about that spot there. Nice and cool up there. Right now, it doesn't have a lot of snow, but the upper gate is open since the 4th of July, and we've been having. Hey, one of the things we're having up there is so many stars. It is so incredible. There's bright ones and twinkles. And then you see an airplane with this little flashlights, and it's beautiful. And we have a comet right now that is right over, probably my head, right about there in the morning time before it gets light. So that's probably about between 2 and 4. Yeah, it's so beautiful up there. I've been catching the breeze that keeps it cool. It's like 70 to 75, real nice and comfortable. Walking around in all different places you can go. I just discovered some new campsites up by Bunny Flats that I just thought they were parking cars because that's happened to be when you look down the little gully, there's campsites there. So, I thought that was pretty cool. And another place. Oh, there's this other road that's kind of a curve, and there's a road that goes off and down, down. I just went maybe a block and stopped and parked. And it is on the side of the see, there's a road here and this little dirt road. So then this is all like canyon down here, the canyon wall. It's amazing. There's another little place that I like. It's just before Bunny Flats on your right hand side as you're going up, and it's like a little turn off spot, and then you can actually drive your car off into the forest, not too far, just a little ways, and then there's a fireplace there and places to put your tents and your car, and then if you just walk a little ways, you'll be on another cliff and you can see the canyon of the valley of Mount Shasta City. It's really quite amazing view of that from that point. Another spot I like is being at the very top parking lot and then walking around that area and then looking down and you see the curve of the road going down, and then you see, like, on a clear day, you can see five mountain ranges, 6 mountain ranges to the south. But right now, there seems to be a couple of fires out there. So hold on to your hats because that is a sign of what can be coming up. Hey, I want to talk about water. Yes, this is a really good water. It's the real to water, alkalized water. It's beyond alkalinity, infused with negative ions, and a potassium bicarbonate. That's all. This is clean water, and the pH is 8. If you drink this, well, I'll tell you my experience. When I drink it, my white cells and red cells were at what they call on the bottom. And it took me 3 weeks to drink 3 of these, 2 in the morning and 1 towards the evening. 3 weeks. And it brought my red and white cells up to a normal spot. And then anything else that was lagging too high or too low, it went to a normal spot. That's a lot of blood testing that I've had to do to figure out that a good water means a pH water. And with that negative ion, it actually charges your cells. See, that's something that waterfalls and oceans do. They stir up the negative ions. And then when you're there, you're inhaling them, you're hanging out on the beach, in the sun, and you just feel really good. So you want to go back a couple more times during the week and actually have a nice suntan, get your body cooking in there for some vitamin D3 and some melatonin, and you'll start really, really feeling good. Drinking the water is important. Now, if you're drinking tap water, you gotta, first of all, you should test it and see if it even has a pH in it. It could be acidic. Acidic, what that means is it's lacking energy. It's dead water. And you shouldn't even be bathing in that, because what you do is your body absorbs the water to keep it moist and lush, and a little garden here, we call it. But if you've got dead water or water that has chlorine in it, bleach, stuff like that they put in, I shouldn't say bleach, but chlorine, things chemicals that they put into the tap water, in most cities, big cities especially, you don't want to drink it, and you certainly shouldn't be bathing in it because it kills everything. I want to talk about this book now. This book, I've been reading this book since I was a young guy. And of course, this is a new edition. But what it is it's America's #1 guide to nutritional health. And this is the 3rd edition, A to Z. A protocol A to Z referencing to drug-free remedies using vitamins, minerals, herbs, and food supplements by Phyllis A. Belch, CNC. This is a book that if you have a question, you gotta go in the back to really find, say you have a problem, say you have a cold or something. Well, maybe you're allergic to wheat. A lot of people don't realize that. Also milk, dairy, lactose intolerance, things like that. People get that in all types of processed foods. With more than 5 million copies sold, Prescription for Nutritional Healing is the nation's #1 best-selling guide to holistic health. I would like to have an interview with somebody that knows this book. It has everything from kidneys, hives, high blood pressure, hypersensitive, hemorrhoids, heel or bone spurs. It goes on and on and on. So you should be able to get a copy at Amazon through this, or maybe at a vitamin store. Prescription for Nutritional Healing. I wonder if it has anything about this sickness that's going around. Maybe the new edition can give us a guide on it. Staying healthy is important. Staying wise with your health is important. Like, when do you drink water? Well, when you got an itch in your throat, maybe. Or maybe a vitamin stuck, you want a little bit more water. That doesn't happen too often. But once in a while, water is so important. What it does is it cleans the cells in each cell. We have trillions of cells. And if you're drinking dirty water or a water that has stuff in it that likes to kill off bacteria, then your own bacteria gets killed off. And by the way, if you guys cannot read that sign, I will personally have a show on Aday and Telos at that sign. And you people who keep drinking that water need to test it for yourself and wonder why you're not dying yet. Because you know what? It's a 4 and a 5 during the summertime. During the wintertime, when there's snow and rain, it goes up to a 7. But that's not a good pH. Anyway, enough with that. But you gotta really work with eating live foods. Now, when I was managing a vitamin store, I had this lady come in, and she says to me, she's all buffed out, real pretty, but buff. Boy, you wouldn't want to see her in a bad mood. But she came in one day and she said she eats something live every day. And the way she looked at me, I was like, honey, you're not going to eat me for lunch, are you? Anyway, she was so beautiful and buff. And she did this as a training thing for other people, running and marathons. Anyway, it was an amazing body. Sorry, ramble on about people. Hey, how many people out there are really sick? That's what I want to know. I personally don't have any people in my circle of friends that are sick, and they haven't been. And we're kind of thinking that maybe there's a special bunch of us that aren't going to get sick and die. You never know. Well, you might be seeing me today, and tomorrow I'll be gone. So far, I'm doing really good. You know what my secret is? Shh, I'm not going to tell you. Good health is my secret. I've gone through a lot of stuff in my days, but one of the most important things is I always like to make sure that my vitamin levels are right. The vitamins and the minerals. And so if a one a day vitamin, sure, that's a good one. I want to know what my, yeah. Hey, with one a day vitamin, you can actually give your body the increase of vitamins like your A, your B's, your D3s and things like that. Most important also is the protein that you eat. If you don't get the right protein, say you're an A blood type and you love steak, I bet you're on the heavy side. If you don't do meat often like that, if you do it too often, you will be. But if you do it less often and more of fish, that is really good. fish, seafood stuff, and things like that, that body loves to digest it. It's easier. The A does not have much of hydrochloric acid in the stomach, so that's why heavy meat and breads aren't good for it. Wheat is another thing, not good for A's. Now, wheat actually isn't good for dogs and people. So if you have a dog that's always scratching, you should look at what is in that. If there's wheat gluten, and things like that in your dog food, that's the problem. Let's see. Another thing that I find is places to buy your vitamins. I find that Rite Aid is a good place to buy vitamins. Some health food stores are, some of them are a little too pricey, but I think some health foods have a good quality vitamin also. Nutrition is important. Burgers and hot dogs and too much soda isn't really the best digestive ability in most people's body. You can tell the people who go to these different fast food restaurants because they might be a little on the heavy side. But if they were to run across the street and have something good to eat, then they would have probably a better trim and more energy. I do believe it's been getting hot and hotter and hotter. And so when I get up in the morning, I like to do a lot of camping. So when I get up in the morning, it's usually 6, 7 o'clock. And I run down here from the mountain and I get myself some salad and some real water. And I do this almost every day. I didn't have to do it today. But before it gets hot, I'll get my food together for the next day or that day and the rest of the evening. Sometimes I have lunch at the senior citizen at the city park. And that is such a blessing. We give a thank you to Great Northern and the people that work with them and the people that receive from them all the food that they bring together for even the kids today, 18 and under, can come to the city park and pick up something to eat. And the seniors, 60 on up. And if you can't make it, you know what? Meals on Wheels can deliver you everything that we're having for that day. And that is such a blessing. Give our thanks to them and the people that are at the city park, the Upper Lodge. Thank you, all of you folks, for being such a blessing to the community. From the cooks to the handout people to the sweeping people. Yeah. Thank you for Shannon Shaw, the new director there. Is that the manager? I know she's very, very happy to be there, and she's putting in a lot of time. Last week, there was a bit of a ruckus going on there at the Lower Lodge area, the dance hall. Some guy got in there, and boy, he must have did something like the twist or something to his head, but he trashed that place up, and they had just finished the floors and doing new painting and everything. Broke a bunch of windows out. $20,000 later, who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, I'm not too happy about people who think that that's a good place to twist and shout. No, it's a good dance place. Nice studio, nice place with a lot of good music and good sound. But you can't do that when the floors are all trashed out. Funny, he said there was some women down underneath the floorboard there, and that's why he tore it out. There must have been some. I wonder if there's any any graves in that area like that. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. But this guy was really. Anyway, hopefully he's not going to be coming around this area again. But we do still have to give him a blessing for his better health and mindset. So, I think is it about ready to close here? 5 more minutes. Hey, do you guys know what this is? This is so important when you're out in a park to hook your doggy up. Huh, Paulo? The problem is people are used to having their dogs roaming around them freely, and so it makes for an exciting adventure when you go out with your dog and you find, oh, there's Mr. Paulo. Paulo. Hey, Mr. Paulo. I know he's not asleep, but I see his eyes. But the thing is if you have a dog that's a little wiry and you're not paying attention to him, he could cause other people grief because they're going to come up and be barking at him, not necessarily wanting to bite him, but that person thinks they're going to get bit. And so, of course, they have this fear factor, and it really messes up a lot of people. So, please, if you can't at least put this on your dog, figure out something better, because this you hold on to, and this the dog holds on to. We've got to be conscious of people's, not so much what the dog is going to do, but the fright that a lot of people have about dogs. A lot of people are scared. I tell you, I walked down a hallway in a motel room with a dog, and these people just kind of like spread away and let me and the dog walk right through the hallway. Didn't have no problem with nobody, but sure did get a lot of complaints. When you have a service dog, you take your service dog wherever you go.
He looks so vicious.
What's that?
He looks so vicious.
Oh, you haven't seen him when he's not just kicking back. When he's on guard, this dog is a different person altogether. Yeah. My favorite one is when he's laying on his back and scratching on the grass. That's my favorite one. I'll show you some of those. In fact, if you go to YouTube, you can see some of the funny ones that I haven't published, but they're in YouTube. And of course, there's SiskiyouMediaCouncil.org. Go to the video archives for Aday, A-D-A-Y, and see some of the funniest new shows that we have on, and some of the old ones that have a lot of education to it. And if you check in with the Healing Brothers, that'll give you a laugh. Oh, also, go and see Angus Kincannon and all the music that he teaches, strumming blues and making bread. Can you dig that? Even the dogs got some of the bread, but that's a really good one. Some of my music ones. How about Thanksgiving night? If you can find Thanksgiving night, that'll be a treat, because there's a man who turns up golden. And if you can figure out who that golden person is, tell him you saw him on Day in Telos. Telos in Weed, California. Everybody, you gotta be here because this is not just a weedy place. It's a weedful place. The Garden of Whedon. Hey, I got a couple more minutes. One thing I'd like to recap on is if you're sick, stay home. If you're well, stay away from people. Because what I do is I isolate myself on the mountain. I hang out with people at a distance, but we call on our telephones. Modern technology. Hey, I'll call you. Oh, but I'm just over here. But I can't get that close to you. Give me a call then. And all the masks, everybody, keep wearing your mask. Actually, upgrade them and make them better than they were ever. Put some lights on so when you talk, you can see what you're saying. I have a problem when I can't see what you're saying, first of all. So when somebody's talking to me, I'm like, can you say that again? I can't see your lips. And that really messes me up sometimes. I do have hearing aids, but still, it's a little bit hard to handle. All right, I'm going to let y'all go, and we'll see you on another new day in Telos from Weed, California, USA. Well.